Notifies. Oh. What videos did you upload? Mm-hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who's they? Oh, really? That's good. How the tables have turned. Usually it's my end. Who dinged you? Are people dinging you? I can't hear you. We can't hear you. Hey, we can't hear you. Say boom boom. Let me hear you say wayo. I was out working on my scooter, just doing a once over on the carburetor for the season. I'd never cleaned that air filter before. It started running real rich, and so I cleaned the air filter. It was like really dirty. So it just had a lot of fuel all over it.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna lean it out a jet anyway. Frig it.
I feel like I need to do something with. I'd like to do something with my scooter.
Just get a CVT kit for it.
What's that?
Like the transmission. All the power on yours is in the transmission. Like you're gonna see bigger strides in like upgrading transmission and stuff than you will like doing.
They can hear you now.
Oh, they can hear me now. Yay!
Do it. Good. Doing anything with the engine.
What about a pipe? Can I get like a cool pipe for that thing?
You need to get a different. You need to reach out the carburetor and do a different intake. Then you do the pipe. Like all that shit goes together.
Oh,
like you can't just start bolting stuff onto that thing and expect it to work.
Okay.
You know?
I feel like a big. I imagine myself running that thing. It's so quiet.
Yeah. I'd make it louder just so people could hear it coming.
Dude, I almost pulled out in front of a Super 73 bike or whatever, electric e-bike.
Yeah.
Like I rode to McDonald's on my lunch break, and then I was riding back, and I looked both ways, didn't hear anything. Looked this way again, and I started to pull out, and I just happened to catch this e-bike out of the corner of my eye. Otherwise, I would have pulled out right in front of him because it's so quiet. He just whizzed past me like it was like a stealth.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool and all if that's what you're into, but my scooter is so loud just so people can hear it.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Nuthouse just gave us a $5 super chat to start things off today. He said just for the show. For the Will show. For the Will show.
The Will show?
Yeah.
Why'd you put me down for $250?
Dude, we bottomed out our internet money account going to Adrenaline.
Really? Oh, we did?
Yeah, there was like $17 left in it. Gonna take a little bit. But it's worth it.
Internet money.
Yeah, internet money.
Give us some internet money.
No, what I was gonna open the show with because we're kind of started kind of late. Is
it's my fault.
Yeah, it's all of our faults. I had a really weird day today. I feel really rushed today because I.
Days Tom Soy mean ride. Like that kind of rush.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sorry.
I think Emerson had a plan today because we still didn't give him his phone because he's still in trouble, and so he didn't wake up for his quote unquote alarm. We pulled out an actual alarm clock and set it. Gretchen did, and it didn't go off, and so so I had to wake up and take him to school, and then when I took him to school, I was awake, and I'm like, I'm awake. I should just do what I was gonna do. I wanted to go fishing today, just by myself, just hanging out by myself, just fishing, and I sat down in the chair, and the next thing I know, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so then I'm like, oh, crap. So then I went fishing anyways. And then I had to pick Emerson up at school at 4 because he usually goes to this after school thing, and he wasn't there. So I was like, oh, great. I just wasted a whole bunch of time. So then I went home, and he wasn't there, but he did leave me a note. And the note said, thought I was going to be late. And he rode his motorcycle to work, which he's not supposed to do. And he's not supposed to have a key to his bike. He lost the other one. And so basically I'm really having a weird day today.
Yeah. Lost things are found sometimes.
Yeah.
Is that what he said? Is he like, oh, I found it?
I don't know. He left me a note, and then on the note he specifically made a point to say, was going to try to tell you, but don't have my phone. So I'm on to you if you're watching. Of course, you can't watch because you don't have your phone, but I'm on to him. I think it was planned.
Well, I don't know. You gotta respect his ambition for getting to work.
I guess.
I
guess. I did catch. So I went to my creek today. My creek has been bonkers quiet. Like nothing. No bites. No nothing. We caught like a few bullhead that were baby bullhead, little baby guys, a couple weeks ago. But ever since then, it's like nothing. And I was sitting there thinking why that could be. And either A, it's just not the right time for that area of the creek, or there was a big log kind of in the water in a certain spot, and now it's gone. Like when we showed up there after winter, we're like, hey, that tree's gone. So the tree got pushed downstream or whatever. So now there's no obstruction there. So maybe that made the spot not as good anymore. So then there's
not goodies getting hung up on the log.
Yeah, or something like that. So then there's a spillway that we went to. Gretchen and I actually went fishing by ourselves yesterday too, and there's a spillway underneath the Standing Bird Lake that we like to go to because at least we'll catch something. Even if we're just, there might be little sunfish or whatever, but at least we'll catch something. So I wanted to go there today. Well, there was already somebody there, and I was like, gosh darn it. And so then I went up to the actual lake, and I had to kind of recalibrate what I was going for. So I rigged everything up, and I started catching, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, black crappie.
What does that mean?
So there's a white crappie and black crappie, and I know that Standing Bear actually has both, and so I was having fun.
I don't know anything about fishing. Clearly, I'm not a fishy guy.
Well, crappie are like so you got sunfish, right, which are little dingers, and normally you don't really want to catch. I mean, you can't really keep them. I mean, you can, but they're not worth keeping usually. Crappie though, they taste good. They got a mouth like a bass, kind of. So they usually go for minnows. They usually go for they don't really go for worms that much. They're usually a minnow type of fish. So I had my little lure, and that's what I was doing. I was catching crappie all day. Caught one big one, about yay big. For Standing Bird Lake, it's probably pretty big, but I had to put them all back, of course. I don't feel like keeping them. And then I had to go pick Emerson up, and then I came back, and then the spot that I was at was open again, so I went down there and I started catching a bunch of fish. There's some giant carp in there, and but the problem is, you can't get the bait to them, because by the time that your worms get in the water, because I could see them, like the water's clear enough, you could literally see where all these big fish were. And it's just a carp, so it's not like a prize fish or anything, but it's just fun to catch, especially when they're big. But by the time you put your bait in the water and it starts floating down to get in front of their face, all these little baby bluegill and green bass and stuff like pew 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 pew, and they're, you catch them instead. So I don't know. I just want my creek spot to get good again.
Yeah, good spots are nice.
I know. I had a lady tell me yesterday. We'll get to RC stuff in a minute, but I had a lady tell Gretchen and I yesterday that you couldn't fish here because in order to get to where we go to the creek, you have to go through a golf course, and of course, golf courses have a couple lakes. Mm-hmm. And so we parked, and I got my hat on, and Gretchen was like, she hates ticks, so she's like all clothed up and everything, and we're starting to walk, and this lady with her dog, she's like, "You can't fish here." Yeah. And
were you just like, I'm just taking my pole and tackle for a walk. We're not fishing.
No, I turned around and I said, "It's okay, Karen. We're not fishing here." And she's like, "Ow." She didn't even get it. I called her Karen.
She like, how did you know my name was Karen?
How did you know my name was Karen? But anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
I had Sunday off. I wanted to use it up. Gretchen and I... The problem is if Gretchen's got the same day that I have off, then all of a sudden she's got plans. So my Sunday was, kind of blown at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, how was your day?
Not bad. I had a doctor's appointment in the afternoon and did that. Came home, looked at the yard and thought about mowing it and decided not to. And then started working on my scooter, taking it all apart, trying to give it a once over, check for loose bolts and stuff, and make sure it's not going to fall apart out from under me while I'm riding it 10,000 miles an hour. So that's all I did.
My scooter's getting up to, it's at 300 miles right now.
Ooh.
And 200 more miles, and I got to change the oil for the first time.
Yeah, are you going to do it, or are you going to take it to the dealer?
I'll probably just take it to the dealer.
Why?
I don't know. My windshield's in. I should drive over there tomorrow and get it. I'm going to try to I'm going to try to put that on by myself.
You got a wind jammer?
Yeah, I got a wind jammer.
Yeah, those are nice. I've never had a bike with one.
Yeah. I've been contemplating a closed-faced helmet just so the bugs don't hit me.
Oh, you don't have like a visor?
Yeah, but it's tinted, so it doesn't do any good at night.
Oh. Yeah.
And that seems to be when the bugs hit me the most. So
I prefer closed face helmets.
I do have my sunglasses. I can take the lenses and put clear lenses in them. So I was thinking
really?
I was thinking about doing that. Well, I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. I mean, to keep you from like, I don't know. Like if the helmet's gonna do anything, it's probably gonna keep you from like getting hurt at low speed, and it'd keep you from like breaking your jaw or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Emerson yells at me too because I'm not clothed enough for him.
Oh yeah, you should at least wear jeans. Do you wear flip flops on your scooter?
No. Okay. Shoes for sure.
It's a big dumb.
Yeah.
It's a big dumb move.
I was gonna tell you, I saw a dude bigger than me riding a ruckus to Casey's down the street.
Nice.
He was so big on his poor little ruckus that the rear tire was like struggling.
It was like, oh shit!
Yeah, it was struggling. I saw it. I'm like, oh, that's a ruckus. And I'm like, oh my god,
yeah,
that guy's on a ruckus.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What a ruckus. That guy's probably a party animal.
Probably.
He's probably listening to the show right now.
Yeah. Hey, they're talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
Twa.
Cool.
Well, boy, we had a big weekend. It's kind of a relief.
Oh, to get it over with?
Just to get it. I mean, that was a really busy couple weeks there. About 3 weeks in a row, 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to kind of have it over with, kind of have a couple weeks to just sort of chill.
Mm-hmm.
I got to buy a Slash.
Oh, yeah.
I got to buy a Slash this week.
What happened to yours from last year?
Emerson got a hold of it.
Oh, it's destroyed.
And it turned into not a stock Slash. And so then I ended up selling it. Actually, I sold it to one of our Patreon members. Ben Huffstetler. So
that's cool.
Yeah, thought that was pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm just gonna get a new one. I have a speed controller. I bought a Hobbywing G2 Elite speed controller because I thought I needed it, and turns out I didn't. So it's actually brand new, still at my house. I might just return it and then use that to get to Slash.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Did you check? I know we got in some B6.4 parts. I know we got in springs, pistons, shock bodies, but I thought we got some other stuff too on Friday, but I wasn't able to go up there and check because we were so busy. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure we got a decent amount of parts now.
Yeah, I didn't go up there and look at it.
HRP was the only one that had them in stock too, so we just told them to ship them.
I got a whole bunch of stuff coming again. Like it just keeps coming in stock. I just keep doing new orders.
Yeah, I gotta get. How much of that car is different
than the old car or the 0.3?
Yeah.
The shock bodies and the front end.
So the front arms are different?
Stuff. No, the arms are the same, but spindles are a little different. Shocks are different. Other than that, I mean, the bell cranks and stuff like that. The rear end's the same.
Do you think it'd be worth getting the new spindles on my car if I don't get the whole 0.4?
Well, the thing is it's like the things that are making that car better are the caster and bell crank changes to it. You know, like that's like the big difference. So if you did one thing, you'd have to do everything. So I mean, yeah, I would think you could update it. You'd have to get just the whole front clip.
Yeah.
But then if you got the shocks, I mean, you'd be in.
Yeah. Chassis length, though.
Yeah.
Chassis is a little shorter. I just don't feel like getting a new car. But after racing this weekend, I don't know. I'm torn. I won 40 plus, but it was a little bit luck. A little bit of just driving good finally. But I mean, Mac was clearly faster with the new car.
Oh yeah, no, he's doing good. So. I ran a 20 flat with mine, something like that, somewhere around there. So I mean, it's definitely quicker. And I think it's got more in it. I know it does.
Yeah.
So I have things that I want to try, you know, for our type of racing we do here.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, let's talk Summer Series, and then we'll. You guys leave some comments tonight. We don't have. There's not a whole lot nationally to talk about, and of course, the Summer Series is a big deal, so we'll get into that. But leave us some comments on this one. Don't forget to like and stuff, so we can get up on the algorithm a little bit.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. All that stuff that's cliche with YouTube and stuff now.
Social media influencers.
Yeah, social media influencers. Real quick. So I've been pointing a lot. I don't know why I do that. I did get the Axial base camp. So I will be doing a unboxing style review on that. But I thought about doing something different. What I'd like to do is like get a bunch of batteries and just drive it through a bunch of dumb stuff like mud and water and I don't know. Just like I want to torture it. I want to like torture test it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might try to do something like that. We'll see what happens. But I haven't had time. I was going to do something Sunday, and of course, it's Sunday. Gretchen and I had a day off, so can't do anything there. Today, I wanted to enjoy a day off, so I didn't do anything RC related today at all, other than this. So, but that will be coming soon. Kind of cool. I got it kind of late. I'm like, that thing was announced a week and a half ago.
That's pretty cool.
Hopefully this week, something that I'm really looking forward to is announced so I can talk about it.
Yeah. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
I want to know what it is. I
Yeah, I
think
know.
depending on what it is, I might even want one. I don't know.
Dude, if I get sent one, I'm also going to buy another one just so I have one unopened.
Really? It's that big a deal?
To me, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will I care about it?
Probably not.
Oh, really?
If Associated made something, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say too much. I don't think I can, but anyways. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Summer Series, dude.
Yeah.
211 entries. Steve RC actually went back because he only ran Plex Spec, so he had 3 hours to kill. So he went back and he looked at every single Summer Series on Live RC, and 211 was the most entries we've ever had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was the last most closest one?
I think, if I remember correctly, just off the top of my head, I think it was like 208 or 207 that we had in 2016. That was like one of our basically.
Oh, that was before the Nats.
That was before the Nats. We had. Remember, we jammed the Summer Series to go before the Nats, which was a mistake on my part, but still. And I think 2 of those rounds were over 200, and I remember specifically one of them being 208 or something like that. So it was really close.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just really good to see. It's kind of like one of those things where, like, I've said this before on here, but basically, for a Summer Series race, I'm really happy. If we get 150, I'm super stoked.
Mm-hmm.
And we're way over that. And so it's just one of those things where the Team Associated Reedy Summer Series at the Plex is just a reliable race. It's just a reliable thing that happens every summer, where if you want to go somewhere with a really high level of competition, hopefully a fun track, that it has been for a while, I think, then you got yourself a reliable venue to go to. You can pick, if you don't want to do the whole thing, you can pick around, and you know that you're always going to have, it's always going to be a high level race. And it's one of those things that I've always, when I first started doing this, it's what I imagined us having. And now we have it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of cool. It's really cool, I guess. It's just, you just don't see that all over the place.
No,
So
you definitely don't.
Extremely fortunate.
I think the next closest thing is probably the JBRLs.
Yeah. Which I checked. JBRL had 222 Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I know in the past we've beat JBRL on entry wise, which I know doesn't matter because they're in California. You know, Jimmy stuff is in California. It's just cool to compare it to, because when I first thought of how to brand the Team Associated Summer Series, I wanted it to be like a JBRL race in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, the fact that we're getting that same sort of feel. In fact, actually, dude, they only had like 7 mod 2 wheels.
Yeah, you were saying that.
We are so freaking lucky. Like, if we didn't have 2-wheel mod, I don't honestly know what I would do.
Yeah.
Because that's what I like to race. And I like to race because it's cheap. You know, your mod mode is $100. It lasts for a couple years if you do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Your speed controller, once you get a good speed controller, it can last forever. You know, maybe 1 battery a year, and you don't have to worry about charging it at crazy amps or anything like that because it's mod. If we did not have mod, I would go crazy.
Mm-hmm. I'd be bored.
Be bored out of my mind. You are right. So we're extremely fortunate. So 211. The biggest class was 13.5 4-wheel drive, and it was actually pretty close, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get my stuff out here. I'm like not prepared. Whoops. Come on, phone. Trying to hurry. So, we had Tom Rindernecht come on out. Kind of come back home, I guess. And he did kind of picked up right where he left off. It was kind of weird seeing him in an X-ray.
Yeah, it was. The last time he drove here, he was driving Losi.
Yeah. And then he did kind of what I like to do. Which at that, I don't. He's not sponsored by X-Ray, is he? Did he finally take a deal on that?
I guess I'd let him say.
I was going to ask him, but I didn't get around to it. But I know at the CRC race, he was officially unsponsored, and he basically just borrowed a car.
Mm-hmm.
So, check the chat. Somebody's probably answered that already.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I guess, like, I don't know if he made it, like, official or anything, and it's kind of his thing to say.
His forward drive looked really good.
It did.
He was jumping past the downside of the crossover, and his car was just landing and coming up that hill.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty crazy. Thought that was interesting. Let's see. Q2 rankings. So in 13.5 four-wheel drive, I want to answer my own question here. There was 42. And in independent, there was 39 independent buggies.
Wow.
So it was close. It was very close. Whew. And then an expert, there was 21. So we had down to an E-main in independent and 13.5 four-wheel drive buggy. Overall, just a really good day. There was like 19 mod two wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave you guys a good 2 heats to kind of get spread out and figure it out. So felt pretty good about that. The track was really good. Don't you think?
No, I thought so.
Yeah,
it really came in.
I had very little tire wear and plenty of grip.
Yeah, I ran a set of tires that I broke in at the ProTech race on my truck. So they had like 2 or 3 runs on them then. And then I ran them on Friday night a couple of times. And then I raced it all day on Saturday, and they still have tread on them.
Yeah. Emerson's truck tires actually look pretty good, and he's really hard on tires.
Mm-hmm.
There you
So
go.
those have, like, I don't know, 12 runs on them probably.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. I'm actually really good on tires myself. The tires that I ran on mod on Friday and Saturday, I think are still pretty dialed. I might even put them in one of my tubes that I have from ProTech and just run my other tires for club racing. Actually, I probably won't even get to club race before the next summer series, now that I think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Because this weekend is the truck series. And then the following weekend, I'm actually going to not be there. I'm going to a graduation party. So I won't even get to club race. And then we come back, and I'm going to make the changes to the track that Monday night and Tuesday. And it'll be another summer series race. So, oof. It's going to be fast. That's going to come up quick.
Yeah.
It's going to feel, at least it's going to feel like it is.
Yeah, I'm not racing this Saturday. I just need a day to do stuff around the house.
I'm going to race stock slash.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to do. Okay. We had some lower mains. I had to move a couple of races around, so we actually ran the Plex Spec A main before the Expert B main just to make sure that we had no marshals running back to back. And Plex Spec A main, this was super fun, and it kind of went down how I thought it might go down. You could literally take any name in this Plex Spec A main, and each one of these names could have won Saturday and can still win more down the road. I mean, seriously. I mean, Lily Kaziski won or got second at the ProTech race. Isn't that right?
I believe so, yeah.
I don't want to sell her short, but and she finished 10th.
Nice.
Granted, her car broke, but still, like, it's just kind of nuts. To think about. And after
I think that Plex Spec, you could. I mean, there's just like sometimes there could be just a kid that's like on one.
Yeah.
And comes out of nowhere.
Just out of nowhere. Just he could qualify like 7th. And find himself in the lead. Actually, Ryan and Alex sort of did that Saturday. And I just want to give a shout out to all the ladies. After the first round, there was 4 girls in the top 5. Which I thought was great. And then the men struck, or boys, however you want to look at it, they struck back in round 2 and kind of
the young men
kind of split everybody up. And then in the main, the men took over. They just they like put a lid on that glass ceiling. I was like, nope, not today. They were like, I don't want to make a joke. They were like the Trump of RC. They were like to Hillary. They're like, nope, slam, not today.
Oh. Yeah.
All right, that didn't hit very well.
Nah.
That's kind of what I don't know. It's kind of what I was thinking. Anyways, okay. Grayson Stevie with a TQ and a win, though. Grayson was like 8th after the first round, and he ended up getting the TQ. Ryan Nemec from the 7th spot to get 2nd, and then Alex Eichler from the 6th spot ended up 3rd.
Wow.
Emily Bagley was 4th. Ariana Smith was 5th. Mario Quintana from the bump spot to 6th. Isabella McMullen dropped down a little bit. She qualified 3rd, finished 7th. Sawyer Haley was 8th. Ryan Bishop. The Bishops were there. Did you see them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
With the short course trucks that they've had forever?
Yeah.
It's been a couple years. It's been a couple of years since they've raced, and they picked up right where they left off. So Ryan Bishop, he got the bump, finished 9th. And then Lily qualified 2nd and, again, broke out about 4 laps in. But still, this is Plex Spec's going to be nuts, dude. Like, I don't even know who to put my money on for this year. So, if we were betting, which we're not, we should have like a Plex Spec. We should have like a Plex Spec pool.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun.
Spec pool?
A spec
Plex pool?
Yeah, Plex
pool.
Ooh, a Plex pool. There you go. Another Plex Spec oriented brand name or a Hobbyplex oriented brand name that can get stolen.
Yeah. What was it? Or what's the DraftKings? You look on DraftKings and there's like spoon betting. Wonder if we can get it added to DraftKings.
Hey, if it's worth betting on, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we had Stadium Truck. And you were pretty much unchallenged. It was close.
Yeah.
It was close for a little while. I watched the video.
Yeah.
But you just sort of slowly drove away, and then after, I think Tommy crashed, and then no, Tommy didn't really crash very much. It was third on back that were crashing a lot, and then out of all of that, Emerson finally kind of got free and was able to take over that position.
Yeah.
But your truck looked really good. Looked really snappy. Looked really fast.
Thanks. Yeah, about mid race, I just kind of started cruising. Like I didn't want to. I don't know. I never run that truck that long before. I don't think so. I didn't want to like overheat it or something weird just because I'm driving it too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like you said something about being on the lead lap. I was like, okay, well let's see if we can get these guys off the lead lap.
Yeah, you just came up behind Emerson right at the end.
Yeah, I think that like my fastest laps were actually my last few laps. Like, cause I ran like a 20.7, then I backed it up with a 20.8 and a few other 20.8s and a 20.9. But
yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, my truck's all right.
Truck's pretty dialed, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Smith was solidly in second. He was in second the whole time. I had to catch him up. He missed his one lap.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy and Alex Vanderbeek, they both missed one lap every single time they race.
Wow.
And it's just those two. So I don't know what's happening, but I'm always looking for it. And so for a little while there, showed him in last, but he wasn't. He was in second. It was Emerson that kind of slowly worked his way up there. TJ was actually in third for a majority of this race. Emerson finally got around him. They were having a really good close battle. TJ probably should have finished fourth, but we gotta work on him on how to think bigger picture when he has this. I tried to talk to him on the driver's stand for during our 13.5 race while we were waiting for something.
Mm-hmm.
And he just sort of like mentally sort of lost it, basically. Like, he crashed a lot after he got passed by Emerson, and he ended up finishing, I think eighth. And that doesn't do the way he drove or his truck. That's working really well any justice. So we gotta get him to sort of think bigger picture, because there's a pretty big difference between fourth and eighth in points. But Emerson, he had a horrible day. He missed the first round because, again, he was in trouble. So he had to go to Saturday school. And then, so he missed his first round. Then in his second round, he was on a TQ pace, and he just started crashing. And so he drove up.
TQ pace?
He was ahead of your
really?
TQ pace for a good minute. And then he crashed, and then he crashed a few more times after that. So, and he went from TQ to being in the B within about 3 laps. It was I was like, dude, you can hear me on the mic. Didn't you hear me on the mic? Usually you can tell by the inflection on my announcing when Emerson's in a race and he starts doing dumb stuff.
Yeah. Well, like what did I run I was on it was like a 15-14 or 15-12, something like that, and I got tangled up with traffic. But that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I still went I think 2 seconds faster than the first round.
Emerson was on a 15:08.
Oh, really?
In truck for about the first minute of his qualifier that he was in. Mm-hmm. And then he crashed, and then after that he did the same thing, and he just mentally just had a collapse. Crashed a bunch after that and ended up in the B. So he was all right. He just track position really hurt him for the main. Otherwise, you never know. He was close to getting second too. Just couldn't. He ran out of time with Tommy. Brian Burnt qualified fourth, finished fourth. Justin Stevie qualified eighth, finished fifth. Logan Prizmanas. These guys were all having a pretty good race. There were between Emerson, Brian, Justin, Logan, and John Berdine, and even Connor Herrick for a while. They're all twisted up back there for positions, and then Emerson finally broke away from that, chased down TJ, and then I remember Brian, Justin, Logan. Those guys were all pretty close. In fact, Justin and Logan finished 1 second apart. John Berdine finished seventh. TJ did drop to eighth. Connor Herrick was ninth. Brian Cox didn't race. It ran too late for Brian. Brian said he's going to get a room next time, so he doesn't have to drive home.
Oh, Brian Cox?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he used to get a room.
Yeah, I know. He could have stayed at my house. I think he's allergic to cats, though. I don't think he can. I don't think he can stay at my house anymore. Four-wheel drive mod was a crazy one. I made a comment like the band was back together, kind of, because you had Alex, Aiden, Drew, Tom, and Nate, and that was kind of our always for the last couple of years the perennial, top guys in two-wheel and four-wheel, and there they were again. Tom Drew TQ'd. He was really fast. They had a really good qualifier in. Tom was right behind him. The start of that main, they were super duper uber close. At about the fifth lap, both Drew and Tom dropped down Alex took over the lead and was never seen again. And then Aiden Olsen, who really just put in some work. He was going back and forth with Tom for a while, and he ended up second. His first week back last week wasn't anything to write home about. And then he actually, because he's out of college and he didn't have anything else better to do, he was here, I think Monday and Tuesday, and possibly even Thursday, just working on his stuff, trying to get it back up to speed a bit again, and it definitely paid off. Because the second in this crowd is really good. Ruben King got third, Tom got fourth, Nate Sutherland ended up fifth, Owen Vanderbeek sixth, Mason Herrick seventh, David Alberico ninth, David Alberico eighth, Ethan Dallaire ninth, and Dustin Hosick was 10th. But Vanderbeek, dude, I don't know how he does that. He'll have a horrible day of qualifying, be like 5th or 6th, and the next thing you know, he's up there winning the main.
Mm-hmm.
He did that in Hutch. Like, he wasn't TQ, I don't think, in Hutch, and then somehow managed to win the AAA mains down there. Independent buggy. So this is another one, dude. Remember, we've been talking about it's a crapshoot as to who is the favorite. And I've wanted to say Bender's probably the favorite because he had been running expert with pretty good success on carpet as well. But I didn't want to necessarily single him out. But he did TQ and win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, Daniel's just focused when he's just, he's got that that Mason Fuller focus, you know?
Yeah. Right.
When he has it.
I could see that.
It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting story here was Logan Prizmanas. Logan works for us and has been doing so much different RC stuff over the last year that I kind of hope he doesn't get burned out. You know?
It's easy to do.
He's got trucks. He's got an Outcast, a giant Outcast 8S that he plays with. You know, he wanted to do gas truck. They bought a Nitro Rustler to try and race gas truck with, and didn't quite work out. And then he runs minis as well on Tuesdays. You know.
Wow.
I mean, so we're just,
what an Iron Man,
dude. Seriously, I mean, he's pretty much always there. I just hope he doesn't get burned out. But you can tell he wanted to race. That he was ready to race 10 scale this year for sure for the Summer Series.
Mm-hmm.
So he logged in a really good second. TJ Williams was third. Kind of the same deal. TJ was in second, and when Logan got around him, I was worried that TJ was going to drop a few more spots, but he kind of gathered it up. Ended up third. Got to get those top 3 points, if you want a shot at this thing. Jake Poteet, who's always a perennial independent runner. He's is that the right word to say? Perennial? Yeah, it sounds right. He was fourth. Darren Ryder was fifth. Justin Stevie was sixth. The start of this race, from about third on back, if you watch the video, was a mess. It was bad. But they all figured it out. Dalton Conrad, there's another one. Ended up 7th. John Haas was 8th. Andrew Thomas, he bumped up, ended up 9th. And Matt Mosier was 10th. So, pretty good. And then 40 plus mod. We had 2 heats of this one this year. Remember last year we had 1 heat usually? And that was kind of rough last year. Because it was, I mean, no, I'm not trying to discount anybody else that runs 40 plus, but when you have just 1 heat of 40 plus and there's a wide range of skill level, sometimes it can be hard on the lead guys because we're coming up so quick sometimes that we don't want to mess the guy in front of us up, that it can get a little messy. So it was just nice to have 2 heats in this one with a lot of familiar names, and there was a couple of new names too. A couple guys turning 40 this year. A couple guys who haven't been here in a while. So Mac TQ'd. I TQ'd round 1. Mac went faster round 2. But I got around him at the start. He missed the front that first double right off the loop, and I got underneath of there. And then the next lap he did the same thing. So the next thing you know, I've got like a 5-second lead, and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. But there was 7 minutes left. So I'm thinking up there. If you guys want to know, I'm thinking, okay, you have a 5-second lead. You need to manage this thing well because you've blown this sort of thing before. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, don't blow this one. You've got this now. Let's just not screw it up. And I almost found a way to screw it up twice. I didn't wreck. Like, I didn't need a marshal, but I did. I made one screw up at the top of the hill. I traction rolled before the straightaway. And then I messed up in the whoops once, but didn't need a marshal, but I had to basically slow way down. And that gap went from 5 seconds to like 1 point whatever seconds. And then Mac just straight up caught me. And so then at that point, if you want to know what's going through my head, I'm like, okay, Mac has caught me. There's like 2.5 minutes to go. I'm like, I can still win this thing if I just put my car, this is what I thought. I'm like, I'm just going to make sure that my car is always in the preferred line. Always. I'm just going to put it there. I don't care how slow I have to go. It's always going to be in the way, basically. And he's going to have to find a way to drive around me. And so for about a minute, I think we drove nose to tail with me just doing everything I could to keep my car where the line is supposed to be. And then the whoops reached up and grabbed him. And I think that was that. And then the end of the race was crazy because we had caught up to lap traffic and they were going, there was a lot of lap traffic to try to drive through. So I was poking my way through and I hit a car jumping off of the crossover into the landing. And I thought for sure my car was broke. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But it wasn't. So it was fine.
Yeah.
But I was worried there for a second. I was like, no, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Because I thought that the way that I hit him, I was like, that's got to be a shock tower. But it ended up working out. So basically, we're tied again in points. This happened last year. We'll go to round 2 washed. We'll be in the same score. Tommy Smith was in second for a little while. He was in second for a good, or was he? Maybe not. Oh, you know who it was? It was Peevler. Peevler was in second for a little while.
Yeah.
At least a lap or two at the start. He got a good start as well. So, but Tommy did end up coming back to get third. Brent Riley, who just turned 40. So Tommy and Brent just turned 40 recently. So they get to run 40 with us. Peevler ended up fifth. Then it was Brian Burnt. And then David Fastis raced with us in 40 plus. Which is fun. And then John Berding, Josh McMullen, and Brian Cox. Again, he went home early, so he's just going to take those 10th place points. But here we go again. Basically tied. And then two-wheel mod was right after that. Tom Rennernecht got the TQ and win. Vanderbeek was second. Mason Herrick was third. I believe, just off of memory, I'm pretty sure that Tom, Alex, and Mason were kind of in their own little race for a majority of this race. And in fact, I think Tom, I know Alex made a pass underneath of Mason coming onto the straightaway. I mean, he was like this far from hitting that little out of, you know how the pipes fit together?
Mm-hmm.
He was probably like a millimeter away from hitting that to get underneath of Mason. Mason had to give it up because Alex had position for the end of the straightaway. It was a sweet pass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the crowd was like, oh, I mean, you could hear the hush in the video. And then Alex passed Mason pretty slyly. Is that an adjective? Slyly?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll work. Right before the crossover. Again, just enough space to do it. But then Tom got by again. I think Alex might have bounced off something, and Tom got back around, and then they touched a few times at the end, and Alex is a good sport, and they know each other well, so he waited, and Tom ended up taking the win. If Tom doesn't make all the rounds, he basically just took a TQ point away as well, because he TQ'd and won. So Van de Beek was second, Mason Herrick third, Alberico with a good finish in fourth, Ethan Delaire top five, Drew, you got seventh. Thought that was pretty good because your start really sucked.
Yeah, I got peeled.
Yep. Owen was eighth, Aiden Olsen was ninth, and Jackson Anderson had to bump up into the main, and he was up there for a little while, and then kind of fell back in 10th. So
yeah, my car got better like during the main. That was like the best my car was all day. So I just kept changing stuff on it.
Yeah. Pretty exciting main though. I don't think I got this one from the driver's stand video. I think I got it from my booth video, so it wasn't, it still works, but Shane Alberico took like 3 or 4 of the videos that I had up on YouTube, and he got it from the driver's stand area, so it's a little bit better. 13.5 4-wheel drive was next, and yours truly got a TQ and win. I was telling the guys afterwards, I was like, I better have won for all the time and money that I've put into that stupid car. Like, like it better have won. Damn it. I gotta say, it's been a while since I felt confident enough to drive hard like the whole time and drive very lights out. That's how I put it to myself, was like, this car is working, your stuff's working so good right now, there's no reason to lose this race. Just stay focused. I was trying to stay focused the whole time, and it was kind of easy to do because the car was so good, but I didn't really do anything dumb, and it's been a long time since I've done anything dumb. Not done anything dumb, I guess. Like the INS race, same thing. This car was, my 4-wheel drive car is pretty darn good. And, you go back and you watch the live stream on that, and I just did a bunch of dumb stuff out there. So, I don't know. But car's pretty good. I'm pretty happy.
Oh, yeah, it looked like it was.
I took Tyler Hook's advice, and I took those 8-hole pistons out of it, and I made my own pistons. So the Techno has a set of pistons that you can just buy and drill yourself. And I made 4-hole. He told me to do 5-hole, but I made 4-hole 1.5s. And I put those in front and back. And on Friday night, I filled it up with 30-weight oil with the same shocks, red springs, pink springs. Pink springs are really soft, but if you put any heavier spring on there, the car will loop out. It's really bizarre. And I left the same shock oil, or the same diff fluid I had at INS. So I had 10 in the front, 30 in the middle, and I believe 7 in the back. And the shock thing really helped that car, but it was a little soft. So I put 35 in it. Remember, I had to borrow your 35 weight?
Mm-hmm.
So I put 35 weight in it, and that was like the ticket. So the car's really good now. It's really exciting to have a car that good. So we'll see if it continues. Hendrickson was probably faster than me in the qualifiers, it felt like, but I hung on to that TQ. But in the main, again, it was kind of the same deal. He kind of bounced off a pipe maybe on the 2nd or 3rd lap, and all of a sudden I had a gap. And then I was just like up there, just like telling myself to stay focused and hold on to that gap, Mm-hmm. And I ran a 19.5. That was my fastest lap. I think I did on lap 4. And then towards the end of the race, if you look, dude, I had 98.4% consistency, and all my laps were like 20s, and then towards the end I did like a 19.8. So
wow,
still hauling it. Cole was second. Easton McCormick from the bump up got up to third. So great drive for Easton McCormick. Boy, he's fast too. Maybe track position probably hurt him a little bit to get any further. Bradley Peterson was fourth. Ashley McCormick was fifth. David Peevler was your other bump up. He finished sixth. Chad Rubenking was seventh. Shane Albarico was eighth. TJ Williams was ninth, and Connor Herrick was 10th. So 13.5 is pretty awesome. We're going to have an expert class and an independent class at the INS. So some of these guys that are in the B and C main at our summer series will probably be your A mainers at the INS race. That's going to be really fun.
Oh yeah,
so
that'll be good.
I'm looking forward to that. And I already know the competition in that class is going to be crazy, just based on who's signed up. So, but Matt Olsen, if you ever watch this show, I just want to say thanks for the center pucks. I hope I drove. Hopefully that earns me my discount. All right. Mini Truggy was next. We're almost done. Mini Truggy, Logan Prizmanas with a TQ and a win. Again, Logan's truck Mini Truggy looks really good. Matt Robinson from the 8 to the 2. And I got to say, Matt always does this. He always has a really crappy qualifier in Mini Truggy. He did this last year. And then the next thing you know, he's like second or third. And then John Haas. All those Thursdays here are paying off again. A-main and independent buggy, and third place here in Mini Truggy. Jake Poteet, your ProTech winner, was fourth. Ronnie Wint got a top 5. Jake Wilkening was sixth. Caleb Singh was seventh. And then Kurt Benson, Chad Irwin, and then Tyler Fleming. And Tyler Fleming is running that C10 like Stampede body.
Oh yeah,
on his truck.
That's cool. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's pretty
that
cool.
thing's cool.
It's really low looking. Should have really good.
Maybe he's onto something.
Yeah, maybe. All right, and then expert stock, and this one is kind of a stunner, dude. I think. Cole Henriksen was your TQ, and was looking really fast all day. But David Peevler from the 3 got the lead about halfway, I think, or maybe towards the end. Yeah, it was about 2/3 the way through. Got the lead and never looked back. And David Peevler getting the expert stock buggy win. That's a big deal. There's fast dudes in this class. So it's really good to see David fast. Not David fast, but David, again, showing his speed in the class that he's known for showing his speed in, which is expert stock buggy. So Cole Henriksen did finish second. So basically they're tied going into the points. And then Chad Rubenking from the bump up to third. And then, I don't know, hopefully it wasn't my announcing, but Chad was in second. And they're racing to the line. And I'm like, I remember specifically saying, you might get one more, don't stop. And they went over the jump, and they both gunned it over the jump, the loop jump. Mm-hmm. And then it looked like Chad let up, like he thought the race was over. And then Cole got underneath him over the crossover. And I'm like, you're still going. And then he went going again. So I don't think it was my fault. Mm-hmm. And if it was, I'll take full responsibility. But I don't remember saying anybody's done. I remember saying, this is going to be close. Race to the line. You could get one more. I remember specifically saying, that. So, and then they raced the line. They still ended up 0.163 apart. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy. And then Bradley Peterson from the bump up to fourth. And then it was Brent Riley fifth, Tyler Knine sixth, Riley Filbert was seventh, Emerson was eighth, and Ian Crawford was ninth, and Orlando Martinez, I think he left early too. I don't think he expected it to be such a big turnout with some of these guys. Yeah. So the story with Emerson is he practiced with Mod on Friday, and then at 9:55 5 minutes before we stopped practice, he goes, I think I want to try to race stock. And I was like, are you serious? Like, I don't even know if I have a stock motor. So that morning, I soldered up a stock motor. I guessed on the gearing. I took his car out, and it felt really slow. And I was like, well, maybe it's just because I haven't ran stock in so long. But then I was watching other guys, and I'm like, nope, his car's pretty slow. And so I asked around with gearing. I geared him about 3 teeth too high. So I dropped him down, and I took it out again. And this time it actually felt fast, like faster. Mm-hmm. And I did a 21 flat with his car in practice. And I'm like, well, that's actually pretty good, I think. Mm-hmm. I think the upper echelon stock guys are doing 20s, but, I could just be, I'm not used to the car and everything else. So,
yeah.
It took
a lot
Emerson
of factors there.
Yeah, it took Emerson a while to get you. I think it took him a little while to get used to it too, because he really didn't have any practice. But he did qualify for the main, so I was pretty happy about that. He qualified 8th. He finished 8th, and I said, "Look, we'll just work on it for next time and try to get it faster. Try to do the same thing I did with my 13.5 car."
Yeah, you have to get like a titanium kit and ball studs,
ceramic bearings, and
all the lightweight drivetrain stuff.
Yeah, well, we'll try to make it faster. But he did drive good. I mean, I think he was even up there for a little while.
Yeah. I might get some more stuff for my truck for INS.
Yeah.
Like ceramic bearings and lightweight transmission and all the stuff. I don't know.
You might not need it, dude. Your truck's
Why?
pretty fast. Yeah. I mean, make it faster, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't do anything to change geometry or anything like that for sure.
No, I was just thinking maybe a ceramic bearing kit.
Or reliability. Don't mess with reliability either.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm good at. I don't know. Like, I mean, so like after, because Emerson's qualifiers before mine, I just kind of was just driving around in the second one because I already had it because he didn't beat my first round.
Yeah.
So, but it's like I need to be, I don't know, maybe I should be driving it harder in qualifying even if I don't have to. But
yeah.
But I mean, it is quick. I don't know. I always think like more,
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I got to see who's working tonight. We need to take a pivot break, and then we'll get to our comments. So, guys, in the comment section, if you're watching, there's 21 people online right now. Drop in some comments. We'll try to get to them. We're going to take a pivot break. Again, this show is always brought to you by Pivot Lending Group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. Mention our show to Don Zoller or Aiden Olsen's dad, and go through with a home loan or refinance. And you better hurry up because interest rates are about to go crazy. You get a $500 lender credit and 0.125 off your interest rate. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. We didn't do the show introduction.
No, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't. We suck. So
whatever.
Oh, well.
We'll get an editing.
Yeah, we'll do an editing.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Yeah!
This is a Pivot Lending Update with David Olsen and Don Zoller. Get some.
Hi, this is David Olsen with Pivot Lending Group, and today we want to talk about the Lock and Shop program that we brought back to you guys in May. And it's important today because interest rates are on the rise. The Fed is determined that they are going to potentially raise interest rates at least 2 to 3 times this coming year. And within the dynamics of our industry, we have some quantitative easing that's going to be pulled back. So currently, the Treasury has conservatorship over Fannie Mae, and they are purchasing in the mortgage world, mortgage-backed securities at a certain rate, a pretty fast rate. And that purchase program has really helped to create a market for mortgage-backed securities over the last probably decade, and has been one of the big catalysts for driving interest rates down. And it's been announced that not only are they looking to raise interest rates, they're looking to pull back on the purchasing of mortgages, which means that it will be rates will be driven by the private sector. And inevitably, that means the rate of return that a private investor is going to want over the government right now is going to be substantially higher. In addition to the quantitative easing being restricted or being pulled back, we also have inflation. And so inflation now, decade over decade, we're seeing inflation move out of that transitory conversation and actually hit the kitchen table economics as far as gas, bread, butter. And with inflation comes higher interest rates, higher returns on everything across the financial industry. So between the inflationary environment, the quantitative easing environment, and then the rates in conjunction with the inflation, we're going to be in a different world altogether as far as rates this time next year. So why am I talking about the Shop and Lock program? It allows you to lock in as we see rates moving up dramatically month over month this coming year and even into 2023. You're going to have the ability for $500 to come into our office, complete an application, get pre-approved, and then lock your interest rate, even without finding a home yet. And you'll have 60 days, so 2 months to find a home. Once you find a home, you have 30 days to close on that home. So for $500, we're going to basically give you 90 days to secure that interest rate. We guarantee that we'll close it within 30 days if you can guarantee you can find the home within 60 days. Once we close, or during that closing process, we will give you a lender credit for the $500. We'll take that $500 off of your closing costs so that it doesn't cost you anything out of pocket to lock that interest rate, use that program. If you do not find anything outside of that period, then there's the $500 charge. Now, that being said, some people are going to say, well, in this market, you can't find a house in 60 days. You'll be surprised how many houses, what the inventory starts to look like here over the next 12 months. With the rates going up, the purchasing power is going to go down, and you're going to see people that are sliding outside of those debt ratio parameters or just not qualifying within a higher rate environment. And so there are going to be fewer buyers, and that's going to allow you more time to look at the inventory that's out there. So the positive of the higher rate environment and all the things we're talking about, as well as the Shop and Lock program, does benefit the folks out there that have been out of the market and unable to find anything or put cash down to be that cash buyer. So we're excited to see the opportunities will be growing for that sector of the consumer market here in 2022. So Shop and Lock program is fantastic for you guys. Let me know if I can help. Give me a call, 402-881-5951. Shoot me a text. Just make sure that you put your name on there and the best way to reach you, whether it's via text or email. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
David Olsen, NMLS 16099. Don Zoller, NMLS 277589. Pivot Lending, NMLS 109995.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
I had to call the store real quick, and that's why I want to do a pivot break before we close at 8, because I had to tell him to kick Emerson out because I don't have my store keys. That would have sucked if he would have still been in there and everybody would have been gone, because then I would have had to go all the way home and then get my store keys and come all the way back. And it was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then I remembered there's a half-drink kickstart in the refrigerator here. And
flat kickstart.
Dude, let me tell you something. There is something to a flat kickstart. So it's been open for a week. Let's give it a try, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's probably like more. Well, go ahead.
Tastes like Tang.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. It's probably like more concentrated too.
Yeah.
Like all the what do I say?
Water.
Yeah, there's a word for it. All the diluters evaporating out of it.
Mm-hmm. Did I tell you and the rest of the people here that we did complete our interview with Ken Kalin, the founder?
Yeah.
Of the Hobbytown Hobbyplex, and will be uploaded soon to our Patreon page.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
So if you're not a Patreon member, you're missing out so far on John Tallberg, our new owner, and then Ken Kalin, our previous owner. Both have solid interviews. Ken's a little longer. We could have talked for like 3 hours, but we were pretty pressed for time, so luckily we didn't. And then I got some outtakes on there from a couple of the YouTube videos that I've done.
Yeah.
And then I have an idea. So I talked to my dad today, and I'm going to bring him up here to the Weberized studio, I believe June 6th, and we're going to record for a special Father's Day Patreon special.
Oh, that's cool.
You should do your dad.
Yeah?
Yeah, you should get your dad. I'm sure they could do it remotely.
Well, I'm sure he'd go up there.
We can talk about you could talk about racing and stuff.
Yeah, we could.
Or talk about whatever you want. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be neat. I'll ask him.
Okay.
I don't even know if he knows I do this show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, my dad.
I've told him.
I think my dad knows something along the lines of it, but I just thought it'd be cool because
he'll be like, "What station is it going to be on?"
Right.
Where can I tune into this?
Well, the one thing about having a YouTube channel now since 2018, and then doing this for 2 years now so far, is like there's a little bit of I don't know how to say this. Like if something weird ever happened to me, there'd be a record of me now out there.
Oh yeah.
You know? Like my mom, it's hard to remember my mom sometimes. But my sister was smart enough to get a couple videos. Like when my son was born way back in 2006, there's a video of us together. It's about 10 minutes long. So I can always go back and I can watch that. And so I think it'd be cool to get my dad on a recording. Not just for that, but again, it's permanent. It's a permanent thing.
Yeah, unless YouTube deletes it.
Yeah, but they won't. There's nothing. There won't be anything deletable.
Do you think that they'll get to a point where they're like, all right, anything from the Roaring 20s, we're going to delete it now, like 100 years from now?
That's a good question.
Yeah, when things are no longer available on YouTube.
Well, you would hope that with as fast as storage has progressed, that it won't be a problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, look at 20 years ago, your SD cards were big, and they were. I have one of the ones that we brought to Adrenaline with us. I just happened to find, and I thought, oh, I got an SD card, and then I actually looked at it, and it was like 64 megabytes.
Oh,
not even gigabytes. And I was like, oh
man.
I can't even use this one.
Yeah, that's
like
even
five,
hold
5 minutes.
Yeah.
So hopefully that won't be a problem. Hopefully our storage is so it grows it grows at such an exponential rate. Hopefully it won't be an issue. All right, comments. Let's get into our comments. Nick Nuthouse says, nice work on the total domination in truck, Will.
Thanks.
Everybody can't hear me. We can finally hear me. Steve says, we love the commentary from Will, but it isn't enough to tell what Alex is saying.
Oh.
Remember when we first started doing the YouTube thing, and it was just me? Like we didn't have your audio, and it was just me? There's a couple of them that are up very, very early. When we were trying to figure out how to get us up on YouTube, we were just learning. Well, everybody here was just learning how to do it, and we were kind of the guinea pig for it.
Oh yeah.
Nuthouse says the crappie are in full spawn, hitting on minnows and small jigs. A lot of fish talk here. Nuthouse says to bug him, and I'll teach him how to get those big carp. I was sitting there. I was brainstorming. I was like, well, what can I get past a little sunfish? And I was thinking like marshmallows, maybe even corn, maybe. I don't know. Something like that.
Maybe.
Maybe. David Fass also did not mow today. Will
Yep.
was talking about going 10,000 miles per hour. Matt Olsen's YouTube channel was broadcasting the Slot Car Worlds over the weekend. He said the scale speed was Mach 2.
That's pretty funny.
Dude, slot cars. I remember when we had our King track for a little while, and I was going down there and doing it every once in a while, and it was.
I remember that track.
There was
Go ahead. Well, so like we used to race minis on Tuesday nights back then, and we'd run minis on the same night that they had slot car night, and that was back when 2.4 was still like brand new and it was only Spectrum. I think you could get a Nomadio radio or something that would work too.
Oh,
But anyway, so your car would be flying down the end of the straightaway, and they'd turn the track on, or they'd be running, and there'd be like certain bands or whatever that would interfere with, and your car just dead stick into the end of the wall at the end of the straightaway, going like, I don't know. We're running like RC18 Ts with 3-cell lipos and Mamba brushless systems in it, like 9,200 kV.
Yeah.
like it's like 1,000 miles an hour into the end of the wall.
Yeah.
Like it happened to me once, and it happened to Kevin like multiple times. But anyway,
Kevin, there's somebody we need to get back into mini racing.
yeah, I'm
Lesac.
surprised he isn't all about it.
Yeah, he's got a kid though.
Well, I mean,
His kid's about 3, I think.
his whole thing with RC is you can't just show up and drive anymore.
Yeah.
Like he used to, and like he's like, it's too hard, and so he like mini racing, that would be like right up his alley.
Yeah.
Just show up and drive on a Tuesday.
Zinc wants to know if we've driven the B6.4 yet. I know you've got yours. You got a whole weekend on it now. I'm waiting. I'm not going to buy one until carpet season. That's my thing.
Yeah, it's a good upgrade, I think. It's pretty much like if you don't have the +3 bell cranks and some of the other stuff on your old car, and definitely new shocks are a plus. So it's like it'd be kind of worth it, like if you're ready for a car, and if you can drive for, you can run really consistent laps and stuff, you're going to notice a difference, I think.
Steve RC said he heard talk about running greens and not golds at our track over the weekend. What do greens do differently? I don't think anybody was running greens.
Don't even listen.
Yeah, don't listen to any of that. I have a set of greens. I was curious to put them on. Nope.
Yeah, just don't.
Yeah, nah.
That stuff doesn't work anymore. We used to run greens religiously, but since we like that one time the track took golds, we've never done it again.
I will say the mini racing, the mini cars, mini B tires, the ellipses, the green ellipses from J Concepts for the minis, they actually work pretty good. But
yeah, imagine if they're making gold and silver compound.
No kidding. Wouldn't that be crazy? Zink was thinking about coming over for the INS race. You have 11 entries before it's closed. So just a heads up. We're at 289 right now. Now there will be a purge June 20th. So if people aren't paid by then we might have to delete some and reopen it. But there's only 11 spaces left to go. So hurry up if you're going to decide. Are the new B6 shocks just shorter?
No, they're
than
they're
8-scale
bigger
ones though. Our 8-scale shocks aren't 13 millimeter though, aren't they? 16.
Yeah, no, yeah. They're definitely
they're
like
not
bigger
quite
than
that fat
8-scale
yet.
shock.
I want to see if the springs work. I did look. I looked to see if the springs worked on my Techno car because the Techno 10 scales use a 13 millimeter shock as well, and the rears are too long. For all of them. So I would have to use fronts all the way around, and the rates don't quite match up to what we're running rate wise. So I don't think. I think maybe one or two of them. I would have liked to maybe try on the front, maybe, but even then the length doesn't quite match up. So
yeah. Okay. Can you use the Techno pistons in the associated shocks?
Ooh, I don't know. I'll have to look at yours.
Yeah, I wonder. Like, because that'd be a way that we could get some blanks. Because does Techno make... Are they machine
Oh,
pistons?
you know what? No, they don't. Because Techno's shock shaft is elliptical. The ends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the ends. Instead of being round where the piston goes on, it's elliptical.
Oh.
So you wouldn't be able to put them on anyways.
Oh.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Mosier says that he saw Tom give X-Ray a shout out in his post on Facebook. I did on Facebook. I did see that. I still wasn't sure if he was technically sponsored by him or not, though. A little bit of back and forth between Nick and Peter about just stuff like trying to find a time to come to the Hobbyplex from Canada.
Yeah, Peter, last time I talked to him, it sounded like he was going to try to come to a race.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying he'd almost enjoy coming like
On
for
just
a week when there wasn't a big race.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's what he said here. Gives a chance to talk to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Quit hockey for the summer.
Oh, really?
And he said he has to have time, and he still has no time. Let's see. Took my cars to the dirt track last week. 3 screws backed out. Does Loctite go bad?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Sometimes that just happens. I know whenever I build a new car, I always, especially on Associated, I always look at the rear block because for whatever reason those tend to wiggle loose at first, and I always have to reapply the thread lock, like I didn't use enough. How long can you drive a noisy motor bearing with a noisy motor bearing?
Replace it as soon as you can.
Have you ever successfully gotten a motor bearing out of a motor?
No, you shouldn't have chased.
I never have.
Well, yeah, I've never tried.
I even bought. Well, I didn't buy it, but back in the day, Thunder Power made a tool, a bearing puller for their motors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I had a bad bearing in one of my Thunder Power motors back in the day, and so I tried to use it, and the damn thing broke before the bearing came out. So I gave up. I've never.
In there.
I have never successfully gotten a bearing motor out of a motor.
Yeah,
a motor bearing out of a motor.
I've never tried.
Steve RC had to replace the motor, then the ESC in Alex's car on Thursday. We probably should have just got him a speed controller and not worried about the motor, but he did get a new motor for super cheap. So
nice,
and it worked out. He got third in Plex spec. Death Viper Games, which is Logan Prizmanas, if I'm not mistaken. He says the Nitro Rustler's coming back for this weekend's truck series. Peter wants to know if you are going to put any of the B64 upgrades on your truck.
Well, I heard that they're going to have 13mm shocks available for the trucks too, or pretty much every vehicle.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'll probably end up doing some of that stuff, but like, I don't know, it works pretty good the way it is right now. I'll probably just leave it, and if there's an update to the truck, I'll end up doing that.
Well, that's kind of what I was hinting at. I don't think you should mess with your truck a whole lot.
Yeah.
When it's working as good as it is.
I just don't want to undo it and have to work on it more and more and more.
Yeah.
It's just, this is working. A lot of things change when you put big tires on it. It's a little different ball game.
Will's mic always stays hot during the pivot break.
Does it really?
Hope he didn't say anything. I didn't hear anything.
I didn't say anything.
That's kind of funny.
Did I say anything?
No, I don't think so. Big dude, bad taste movie. Watch it. This goes back a long ways. I still have not been able to watch that movie. I think it's a Peter Jackson movie.
What movie?
Bad Taste.
Oh, I've never even heard of it.
I know. I've been meaning for a very long time to watch this movie, and I still haven't seen it yet. So it's nice to see Big Dude back on here, though.
Yeah.
I may pick back up with After Hours here shortly. I need a break. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my YouTube videos have sort of slowed down too. Partially because there hasn't been much stuff, but also just I don't know. I was kind of overwhelmed there for a little while. I needed a break.
It's a lot to do when it's not your only gig, you know?
Yeah. But I was gonna do an After Hours last week to prep for the summer series, and then I really didn't need to do anything, so I didn't do it. And actually, I stayed Wednesday night. That's right. I stayed Wednesday night, and I went through all of our shelves. I went through the Traxxas aisle, the Arma aisle. We moved a whole bunch of stuff in the store, and it had been something that I've been working on since before we went to the Adrenaline RC race. Mm-hmm. And so I stayed Wednesday night to finish it, and I got done with it about 12:30. So I had just some store stuff to do. So there you go. Nice.
Phew, I sneezed.
Yeah. Mechanic talking. Loctite does have an expiration date.
Who's that?
Mosier, Cody Mosier.
Oh, okay.
That reminds me of the wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to let that one go.
Nice. I wish I could sneeze
guys.
like that. I don't sneeze like that.
Yeah, you sound like a mouse.
I do. I'm so worried about having boogers come out of my nose.
Not me, baby.
Front casters. Peter says front caster screws. I already took the motor bearings out and cleaned them, but they just keep getting dirty. Huh. Weird. I don't know. Usually if the bearings are shot in my motor, I just sort of get a different motor.
Yeah. Or at least just replace the the housing.
Yeah. Yep. You could do that. That'd be a cheaper way to do it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a setup? Do you have an up-to-date setup sheet for your truck? Anywhere?
No, I don't. I made one for Adrenaline, but that one's entirely different than what I run here.
Yeah. You should make one for the Plex, post it on your Facebook.
You think?
Yeah. Or send it to me and I'll post it on the Hobbyplex show page for anybody that's asking.
Are there a lot of people asking?
Yeah, you never know. There could be a couple.
Yeah.
I would hope somebody would want my 13.5 Techno setup.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. My car's fast. I would hope so. Am I that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want my, hey man, give me your setup?
Yeah, I'm surprised people want my setup.
Yeah, your truck looks good though. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think that's it. We better go. I got to go get my kid. He was setting up tomorrow's carpet track for the mini racing.
Nice.
So. Okay. Well, you need to get a hold of Jason, see when he wants to come on.
Okay. Sounds good.
We can talk about getting ready for the INS races and stuff.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
This weekend's
that'd be a
carpet
good
one,
promotion,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. That'd be a good promotional deal for our race too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, yep, work on that, and I'll try to come up with something different as well. So, someday I can think of.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, we never really did the intro to the show either, but I think my mic wasn't working, so we got kind of sidetracked.
Yeah.
This has been Alex Sturgeon with the Hobbytown Hobbyplex manager and race director. And with me as always,
Will Brinton.
And we're going to sign off because we got stuff to do. So appreciate you tuning in. Summer Series Round 1 in the books. A very busy spring, almost over with. Round 2 will be June 4th. Is that right?
Sounds right.
Sounds right. And then we got a month to the J Concepts race, so we won't have another Summer Series race after June 4th until July 30th. So it's going to be a good time. Oh, well, see ya.
Yeah, see you guys. Thanks for listening. Sorry, this is kind of a snoozer. We're both tired.
Yeah.